Hi everyone, let's recap our knowledge on the number skills chapter. Before we begin, ensure that you have downloaded this from your class page. So this revision worksheet can be found on your class page down in the file section. So number skills revision worksheet, click on that. That's the one that you would like to download from here. So download that and attempt your questions in your workbook. Right, questions 1 to 3 recaps our knowledge on the rounding and estimating topic. So having a look at the first question here, 1A, round off the following numbers to the nearest tens. So your first step is to locate your number in the tens position. In 1A's question, 43, 4 is in the tens position. Now, in order for us to decide whether this is being rounded up or down, we will have to look at the neighboring number. So just beside 4, that is number 3. Because 3 is less than 5, this means that we round down. When we round down, this just basically means that the number stays the same. So as 3 is less than 5, 4 will remain, and our ones position will just be a 0. So that's our answer with 40. Now in question 1E, 158 is our number. So locating first our number in the tens position, that is number 5. And in order for us to know whether this is rounded up or down, we look at the neighboring number. Because 8 is more than 5, this means that we round up. And what we mean by round up is the number in the tens position increases by 1. That will be 160 that it is rounded off to. Now, moving on to question 2. Round off the following numbers to the nearest hundred. So in this case, we'll have to locate our numbers in the hundreds position. So looking at 2A, our number in the hundreds position is 7. And how do you know whether we round it up or down? Looking at the next number. So that is 6. 6 is more than 5, so therefore we will round up. So increasing 7 by 1, that will be 8, and 0 will follow as the rest of the positions. Right, moving on to 2F, 6,341. First step, as usual, locating the number in the hundreds position, that is number 3. And how do we know whether this gets rounded up or down? Looking at the neighboring number, which is 4. Because it's less than 5, therefore the number stays the same. So copying 6, 3, 0, 0, 6,300. That will be our answer. Right, question 3. Express the following decimals correct to 2 decimal places. So let's give it a go with question 3A, 5.674. Now, first up, we'll want to locate our number in the second decimal place. So that will be the number 7. Looking at the number beside that, that is 4. So because it's less than 5, this means that our number stays the same. So with our answer, previous few numbers, copying that down, 5.6 as what the question says, and with 7 that will remain the same. So answer will be 5.67. Trying out another question, 3E, 41.673. So with that, locating our number in the second decimal place, which is 7, and finding out whether that gets rounded up or down. So that's 3 beside that, less than 5. So therefore, number 7 stays the same. So 41.67, and that will be your answer from there. Pause this video and try all the rest of the other questions from 1 to 3. Now, question 4. This requires you to recap your knowledge about BIDMAS. It's always a good practice to write out your BIDMAS wording just so that guides you along. So let's try out question 4E. So we have 56 minus 8 plus 3 in the brackets equals 2. So looking at our BIDMAS equation, there is brackets that we need to solve from there. So we will solve this first, 8 plus 3 within the brackets before solving the rest. So we'll copy out the same. 56 minus 8 plus 3 gives you 11. Now that we're done with that step, we're just left with subtracting 11 from 56. So that will equate to 45. 45 will be your answer from there. Now, a question for F. So in the brackets, there is 9 plus 11, closing of the brackets, times 5. So looking at BIDMAS once more, we can see that brackets appears there. So therefore, we solve whatever that is in the brackets from there. So 11 plus 9, that will give you 20. The rest just copy it on. So as you work out one operation, write it on one line. So one working line for one operation there. Now, lastly, we're just left with the multiplication. So 20 times 5 gives you 100. All right, let's try another one. We can try O, so 4O. That's 7 minus 15 divided by 3 plus 9. So looking at our BIDMAS prompt on the left over here, there is no brackets. Moving to the next one, there is no indices. Moving to the next one, there is division from there. So we'll solve division within the equation first. So 7 minus 15 divided by 3 gives you 5 plus 9. Right after that, we're just left with subtracting and adding as well. So remembering, if you have minus and plus in your equation, always carry out the one from the left first. If you have multiplication and division within the same equation, always carry the one out on the left. Okay, 7 minus 5 gives you 2 plus 9. Adding that up gives you 11. So that's your final answer. Right now, pause this video and try the rest of your questions in question 4. Alright, question 5 is a recap on your knowledge on your operations with fractions. So let's try out 5a. We have 8 and 1/4 plus 5 over 6 plus 2 over 3. First thing, as you add or subtract any fractions, you need to make sure that they are in fractions or improper fractions, and making sure that the denominator is the same. So let's change 8 and 1/4 into an improper fraction. So multiplying our denominator with our whole number, 4 times 8 gives you 32. 32 plus 1 gives you 33. So that is 33 over 4 plus 5 over 6, writing out the rest of the equations from there. So now that all of it are not in mixed fraction format, let's begin to ensure that our denominator is the same from there. So a common multiple between 4, 6, and 3 would be 12. So this means that we'll have to multiply this by 3, multiply this by 2, and multiply this by 4. So what you do at the bottom, you also do at the top. That equates to 99 over 12 plus 10 over 12 plus 8 over 12. Right, so performing your BIDMAS, once again over here, you can see that there's 2 additions. So always carry out the one that's on the left first and working your way towards the right from there. So that will be 09 over 12 plus 8 over 12. Adding that up together, that gives you 117 over 12. Now, remember to always convert this into a mixed fraction. So as you convert this into a mixed fraction, that gives you 9 and 9 over 12. And simplifying your mixed fraction, 9 and 3 over 4. Right, just as a recap with question 5e, so that is 2 3/4 divided by 6 over 16. So always remembering, whenever you perform any operations with your fractions, you do need to make sure that this is an improper fraction first before you carry out your operation. So 4 times 2 gives you 8. 8 plus 3 gives you 11. So 11 over 4 divided by 6 over 16. As you recall your division of fractions, remembering same, change, flip. Right, so carrying that out, same. So same as the first fractions, changing division into multiplication and then flipping 6 over 16. Next step is to ensure that you cancel out your numbers just so we get the smallest possible number from there. So 4 and 16 have a common factor of 2. So dividing that by 2 gives you 2. Dividing that by 2 gives you 8. Can divide it once more. So 2 divided by 2 gives you 2. 8 divided by 2 gives you 4. Right, there is also a common factor between 4 and 6. So 4 divided by 2 gives you 2. 6 divided by 2 gives you 3. That will be it for cancellations. Therefore, multiply across. So that's 11 times 2 gives you 22. And 1 times 3 gives you 3. So reducing that into the simplest form, 7 and 1 over 3. Pause this video and try out the rest of questions. Now, question 6. Which of the following are recurring decimals and which are terminating? You will just have to label it recurring or terminating from here. Remembering terminating means your numbers will stop. Coming from the root word terminate, terminate means stop. As with recurring, this just means that your numbers carry on and on and on and on. So they do not stop from there. So looking at question 6a, 0.125, because it stops at the end of 5, this means that this is a terminating decimal. Looking at question 6d, 0.43, and there are 2 dots up above them. This means that they are recurring decimals that keep repeating on, such as 0.43, 43, 43, 43, so on and so forth. So this means they are recurring decimals. Right, pause this video and try the rest of the questions in question 6. Question 7. Write the following recurring decimals in a shorter way. So this is the reverse of question 6. Having looked at 7a over here, we'll first need to know what the pattern is. So 3 seems to be recurring. So as it's recurring, just putting a line over there just to tell yourself that that is the end of the numbers and it starts to repeat after that. Answer will be 0.3, so you can use either dots or lines above the numbers that are recurring to demonstrate your knowledge on recurring decimals and expressing that in a shorter way. So either 0.3 with that dot over there or 0.3 with a bar above. Right, question 7a. So looking at 0.272727, cutting off after 7, because after 27 it just keeps getting repeated from there. Answer will be 0.27, and because 2 and 7 repeats, 2 is the starting number and 7 is the ending number from there. So apart from using dots, you can also use bars to show that in a shorter way. Now, question 7f. So 0.26666666. So because 6 repeats, we'll put a line just to cut it off after the first 6. Copying that number, 0.26, and because only 6 gets repeated, therefore a dot on top. We can also express that as in a bar, so 0.26 with a bar on top of 6 over there. Now, just as a recap, if your numbers, let's say, were to repeat as such, so 0.345, 345, 345, so on and so forth, remembering as you express that in a shorter way with your dots, that will be 0.345. That's because it starts to repeat after that with 345, 345, and 345. So as you put your dots above your numbers, it should be at the starting number where it repeats, that is 3, and the ending number where it ends with 5 over there. So if you express this as bar format, so that's 0.345 with a bar going through 345 from there. Pause this video and try out the questions in question 7. Once done, please remember to take a clear photo and submit this to MESCOM according to the directions on the forum. Thank you.